Okay. That's the write-up on the screen.
From the earliest writings of man, we know that the human race has been comprised of the haves and the have-nots. When I was a kid back during the Great Depression, I was obsessed with a desire to know what invisible something separated the haves from the have-nots, being a have-not. I wanted to know why so few managed to be well off financially in a country where success is available to everyone. For example, in checking the statistical abstract of the United States published by the Bureau of the Census, I discovered, just lately, that only 10% of the men in this country, 65 years of age and older, have incomes of $6,000 or more a year. More than 80% of all men 65 or older have incomes under $4,000 a year. Only 7.6% have incomes between $7,000 and $10,000 a year, and only 3.7% have incomes of $10,000 a year or more. A man starts his working career in his 20s, often earlier. He's fortunate in that he lives in the free world. He has better than 40 years to make the grade financially in the richest country on earth. Yet, according to the statistics, only about 10 out of 100 will be financially secure by the time 65 rolls around, and only about 4 men out of 100 will be financially comfortable. Now, why? Let me tell you how to find out for yourself. Conduct your own survey. Start down the street in your neighborhood on any Saturday or Sunday and ask the man of every house 2 questions. The first question is, what are you doing at the present time to increase your income now? That is, how much do you want to earn? And when you've evaluated the blank stare you get in response to that question, ask question number 2, which goes, how much money are you planning to be worth at age 65? And when the silence becomes too unnerving, thank him and move on to the next house. Ask 50 men, 100, 1,000, until you're completely convinced that the reason men don't make more money during their working lives, and the reason men aren't financially independent by the time they're 65, is simply that they seldom, if ever, do any constructive thinking on either subject. It's that simple, unfortunately. The reason it's so easy to earn far more money than the average man earns in this country is that so very few are going about it the right way. This is a race without enough contestants to bother about. The few who are really in the race can all be winners. Some will finish ahead of the others, but even the man who finishes last in this race will be financially secure. Most people, more than 90%, aren't even in the race. To prove it, ask yourself the 2 survey questions. Up until the time you started listening to this message, what were your plans for increasing your income? How much do you want to earn? And how much money had you decided to be worth by the time you're 65? You see, people who earn large incomes aren't lucky, and they're not crooks as those without money are so fond of pretending, nor are they endowed with more brains or talent necessarily than their friends and neighbors, nor are they privy to occult secrets. And only a very few were lucky enough to have had rich fathers or grandfathers. Most of the people earning the big incomes today started the same way you and I did, and most other people. The only difference between the men who earn big incomes and those who earn small incomes is that those earning big incomes decided to earn more. They're the people who made it their business to earn more.
Exactly.
You see, a woman who does not think about baking an apple pie for dinner tonight will never think of looking up the recipe for apple pie.
Exactly.
Without the decision for pie, there's no motivation for checking out the recipe.
Exactly.
A man who does not think about driving his car to St. Louis, Missouri or Nacogdoches, Texas will never get road maps which show how to get to St. Louis or Nacogdoches. And a man who never decides to earn more money will never think of learning how, of looking up the rules for earning more money. You see, people do what they make up their minds to do. So get rid of the ancient superstition once and for all that people who earn big money are special people, are lucky, or get the breaks, or have money to begin with, or knew someone, or are smarter, or anything else. These are alibis. They can all be disproved 1,000 times. The reason there are so many of these alibis around is that men who fail to make the grade financially are seldom honest enough to just admit that they really didn't try and keep trying. So in order to justify their failure, in order to remain seated, they dream up and pass along these old alibis. We're all self-made, but only the successful will admit it. I once had occasion to visit Charleston, South Carolina. I'd never been there before, so I hired a taxi to drive me around the historic old town. I particularly wanted to see the battery where that famous shot was fired on Fort Sumter. Along this beautiful drive, some of Charleston's oldest and finest homes look out over the bay. I commented to my cab driver on what lovely homes they were, and he said, yes, some of those homes have 40 rooms. And then he thought a moment and he said, and every one of them is owned by a crook. This is how the have-nots justify themselves and their lot in life. I didn't say anything because I didn't feel I was entitled to advise him or try to straighten out his thinking. This is a free country where as long as he doesn't hurt others, everyone has the unalienable right to be just as wrong as he wants to be. As Thomas R. Lounsbury, the American scholar and educator, put it, we must view with profound respect the infinite capacity of the human mind to resist the inroads of useful knowledge. My taxi driver and men and women like him all over the world have been kidding themselves and holding themselves down and refusing the bounty and abundance of the world for centuries. Knowledge is available to everyone. We can either listen to those qualified to teach us, or we can go along with those ancient stumbling blocks we get from people who don't know any more than we do. The truth, incidentally, about those homes along that beautiful drive is that they were built by the men and women who made the largest contribution to the city of Charleston.
Exactly.
In just a moment, I'm going to give you the formula for getting rich. But before I do, I want to remind you of something. Before a jet pilot begins his takeoff from an airport, he carefully goes over a checklist, item by item. He does this not only because it's required by law, but because he cannot afford to trust so important a job to his memory alone. He has another checklist that he goes over just as carefully before he begins his letdown at his destination. He does this without fail every time he takes off and every time he lands. Well, I think living successfully is as important as flying an airplane. And because of this, I think each of us needs a checklist too. And that's why there's one included with this cassette. We need a checklist to go over item by item before we take off in the morning and before we drop off to sleep every night. So I want to recommend that you affix the checklist to your bathroom mirror. Stare at it as you brush your teeth in the morning and stare at it again as you prepare for bed at night. Go over each item, and as you do, think of what each item represents. Now here's number one. It's the formula for getting rich.
The formula for getting
It
rich.
also explains why you're in your present position, whether you're earning $6,000 a year or $16,000 or $60,000 or $600,000. It applies to every adult, whether he's employed or unemployed. It applies to the richest man and to the poorest, and every person in between. And here it is. Our rewards in life will always be in exact proportion to our contribution, our service. Now that's what the formula means as the first item on your checklist. Memorize it. Our rewards in life will always be in exact proportion to our contribution, our service. Listen to it, think about it until you know it, emotionally as well as intellectually. It might give you some slight feeling of superiority to realize that there's probably not another man within a mile of where you live who knows it. You can add it as a question on your survey if you want proof of that. If you want it in another form, here it is as it applies to a man's job. It's the same thing really, the same thing applies, but you can express it differently. The money you're paid by the company you work for will always be in direct ratio to the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the degree of difficulty involved in replacing you. Maybe you want to write the formula down in both of its forms and think about it until it's as much a part of you as your name. The reason it isn't spelled out on your checklist is because you might not want everyone to know what you're up to. The checklist is valuable only to a person who knows what the words really indicate. All right, you've got the formula. As you think about it, its meaning will become clearer to you. With the formula, there are two rules which must be applied to properly use it. This formula, together with the two rules, is your recipe or your roadmap to earning all the money you really want. Now let's take a look at item number 2 on your checklist. And I'm serious about you putting this checklist on your mirror. You'll notice it's pressure sensitive. Item number 2, the gold mine. The Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright Archibald MacLeish in his play The Secret of Freedom wrote, "The only thing about a man that is a man is his mind. Everything else you can find in a pig or a horse." Strong words, aren't they? But as long as you live, you'll never hear a truer statement. The key to every human being's success lies in his mind, the gold mine between his ears. One idea can make you rich. A lot of good ideas can move you steadily upward in the work you do, and ideas are free. Now just think, There's nothing now being done commercially that will not be done better, much better in the years ahead. Next year's homes and most of what's in them will be better than this year's. Next year's cars will be better. Next year's manufacturing, distributing, marketing, and selling and advertising should be better. Nothing is now being done as well as it must be done in the future. And every innovation, every new improvement will be somebody's brainchild.
Right.
Now, what's your specialty? How many good ideas have you come up with during the past year? If you continue on as you have in the past, where will you be and what will you be earning, say, a year from now, 5 years from now? Every day of our lives, we walk or drive by more opportunity than we can develop in a lifetime, in 50 lifetimes. Back in the 20s, Sinclair Lewis wrote that you can kidnap a man blindfolded and take him to any city in the country with a couple of notable exceptions. Put him in a chair in the downtown area, take off his blindfold, and he can sit there a week and not be able to tell you what town he's in. The streets are all alike. The buildings are all alike. The businesses all look alike. This is still largely true today. The reason for this being that most businessmen in this country are playing a game called follow the follower. If a man goes into business, no matter what line it happens to be, the first thing he does is make certain that his place of business, outside and inside, looks exactly like every other place of business of that type in the country. Do you know why? It's because he's been playing copycat since he was a year old and does it without thinking about it. For the same reason kids dress alike in school. He wants to be one of the gang. He doesn't necessarily examine all the business establishments in his field and pattern his on the one outstanding example, the one that inspires him, the one that he can really believe in. He just does what everybody else in his business is doing, and by this simple process, he guarantees his own mediocrity. Whose drum are you marching to, if indeed you're marching to anyone's, and why? Remember, whatever you now do for a living will be done differently, quite differently a few years from now. Never in the history of mankind have the opportunities for all of us been so great. But the great majority of people will be the beneficiaries of progress, not those who bring it about. Which group are you going to belong to? If you want to be a contributor, not just a beneficiary, here's the first rule. It appears on your checklist as the gold mine. So, think. Think deliberately and with a purpose. Use the gold mine between your ears. Begin by thinking at a special time every day. Back during the Depression, a New York lumber dealer was growing rich while other lumber dealers were going broke. When asked how he did it, he said, every evening when I get home, I close myself up in a quiet room, sit in a comfortable chair, and ask myself, how will my business be conducted 10 years from now? Then I try to do it now. Instead of competing with every other lumber dealer, which is what they were doing, he was creating. He was doing the very thing man was designed to do, the very thing man does best. A company growing at the rate of 10% a year will double its size in less than 8 years. But a man can improve his effectiveness 50% or 100% a year or more. The experts tell us that every one of us has within him deep reservoirs of ability, even genius, that he habitually fails to use. Well, let's begin now to reach into these deep, rich areas of pure net profit and use more of our real abilities. Let's think. Here's the best way I've found to make yourself think. Start getting up a little earlier than you're accustomed to. Right off the bat, this gives you extra time that 95% of the men in this country are not using at all. 1 hour earlier a day gives you 6.5 extra 40-hour weeks a year. But at this time in the morning, take a refreshing shower, dress, get yourself a fresh hot cup of coffee if you're a coffee man, and then sit down to a clean sheet of paper. At the top of the paper, write your financial goal. Now, this is the amount of money per year you intend to earn soon. Incidentally, you might like to keep this to yourself, too. It's nobody's business but yours. Then, start to think. Think about your goal and what it'll mean to you and your family. Then see how many ideas you can come up with to help you reach that goal. Ideas to improve what you now do for a living. Ways of increasing your contribution to match your income goal. You know, jobs don't have futures. People do. No matter what line of work you may be in, there is within it more than enough opportunity to last a lifetime. You don't have to think of brand new ideas or revolutionary new ways of doing things, although you well might come up with some. Think of ways of improving what is now being done. If you are to increase your income by the amount you specified, you must find ways of increasing your contribution, your status. And the key to this is to be found in your mind, in that gold mine between your ears. Try for 5 ideas every morning and write them down, and save those sheets of paper in a special idea file. Many, perhaps most of your ideas will be worthless, but some of them will be very good. A few will be excellent, and every once in a while you will come up with something really outstanding. You see, 5 ideas a day is 25 a week if you don't think on weekends. Now that's more than 1,000 ideas a year. One idea can get you to that income you're shooting for. The law of averages swings so far in your favor you just can't miss. Try to develop a sense of expectancy. That is, try to hold the feeling that the goal you're shooting for is a sure thing, and that it's only a matter of time before it's realized. You know, Henry Ford didn't start making cars until he was 45. A friend of mine started a new company at 65. He's still going strong, and his new company has sales of better than $300 million a year. It's almost never too late. Try not to think of things outside of your own line of work or whatever it is you're most interested in. To think well and profitably, you must discipline your thinking. Keep it on course, controlled, keep it in one field, specialize. Now for the final item on your checklist. It appears as
The word.
And the word is attitude. Attitude has been called the most important word in the language. William James put it this way. He said, the greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. This is something to think about. Can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. It's another way of saying we become what we think about. Look at it this way. Your total environment, if you've been an adult for any appreciable period of time, your total environment is a reflection of you as a person. The house and the neighborhood in which you live, the car you drive, the clothes you wear, the job you do, the people with whom you regularly associate. Your total environment is an exact and merciless mirror of you as a human being. Now, if you feel your environment can stand some improvement, you have only to improve your attitude, and your world will gradually change to reflect the changing person. Here's how to change your attitude. Beginning now, begin to act as would the person you most want to become. Now that is, if you were already in possession of the goal you're shooting for, how would you conduct yourself in all of your affairs? We'll do it now, and tomorrow, and the next day. Begin now to act the part of the person you most want to become, and you'll end by becoming that person. Subtly, in little ways, in the way you dress, in the way you talk, in the unfailing courtesy you show to every person with whom you come in contact. Begin to act the part of the person who has already achieved that which you're shooting for. The German philosopher Goethe gave us the secret when he said, before you can do something, you must first be something. When you behave like the person you most want to become, the things that person would have will tend to come to you. It's simply cause and effect. Don't be in too big a hurry. It takes longer to build a skyscraper than a chicken coop. Build slowly, steadily, and well. Then when you make it, you'll keep it. You'll stay on top. Always be suspicious of the so-called get-rich-quick scheme or sudden success. Never forget that word, attitude. It's your attitude toward the people with whom you come in contact that will determine their attitudes toward you. The person with a great attitude toward life and the world is the person other people call lucky. He's not lucky. He's just using our old friend, cause and effect. His causes are excellent, and his effects have to be just as good. Well, that's it. 3 things to remember. 3 things to practice every day. If you spend 16 hours a day, 7 days a week practicing your golf swing, in a relatively short time, you'd have a groomed, beautiful swing like the pros. So practice your new attitude every day, every waking hour. Practice thinking a few minutes every morning, and you'll find yourself thinking all day long. And remember the formula. Our rewards in life will always be in exact proportion to our contribution, our service. Go over the ideas of this message every day until they're as much a part of you as your name and your temporary address. You'll notice that each time you listen, you'll hear something new. You'll get a new idea you failed to get before. This is Earl Nightingale, and thank you.
Whoa. Wow. I know the voice is very, very deep. Sincerely speaking, how many of us, you were able to hear him? Let me see you wave your hand. You were able to hear him. Let me see you wave your hand. You were able to hear him clearly. I'm telling you, I'm going to be sending, let me check the size quickly. Okay, because many times, let me check the size. Oh, thank God, the size is such I can upload. The size is such I can upload. And let me just be sending it, let me just be uploading it right away while we're having our Millionaire School. It's something that you need to go play this, you need to just play it. Apart from just playing it from the Millionaire School today, or rather, since it's there in the Millionaire School, well highlighted, let me leave it. So I'm going to send the Millionaire School today, the video. I want you to watch it over and over and over again. He started with, why do people don't become rich? Okay, that's how we started. Mama Kehinde said, thank God for the write-up. That's what it means to be prepared. Some of you don't know, I prepare virtually for 99% of all my Millionaire School. I prepare for it very well. I don't assume I know what to say. I prepare. When I listened to this, I told myself, you people may not be able to catch this. So I had to, download the write-up. Now, he started with talking about why people don't get rich. Why is it that a lot of people end up struggling in life? And he gave us a study for us to carry out. And he said, go out, find 20 persons, ask them, how much money do you want to earn by the age 65? How much money do you want to be worth by 65, by the time you are 65? And follow it up with the second question. What are your plans to get in there? I will tell you what some smart people will do. When you ask them, how much would you want to be worth by the time you're 65? Some of us here will answer that. You will tell me things like, sir, I want to be worth $1 billion, $10 billion. Okay, answer the second one. What plans do you have? Have you sat down? Many of you must have heard me talk about this. I said, I have a roadmap that will lead me to at least to be in net worth. By the time I'm 40 years, I have a roadmap that will enable me to earn at least, to be net worth at least $1 million. That's about 510 million naira. I have a roadmap well set out already. I'm already worth more than 100. And the time is ticking. I'm 36. I have about 4 more years to go. And if you get to me, I have it well written down. All the investments, there are investments I am making in stocks, in real estate, and I'm watching them. There's some real estate deals I did. They didn't go well. I learned from them. I sold off. I invested well. And I'm working on it month in, month out, quarter in, quarter out. I've well written out, well structured on how to be worth at least $1 million in assets. Between now, from my 30 years and then my 40 years, actually it was a 10 years goal. I'm already 6 years into it. I have 4 more years to go. So some smart persons will tell you, me, I want to be rich now. Don't just be too quick. What are your plans to get in there? The reason why, and I think get very, very clear, the reason why people don't become successful is because they never truly wanted to be successful. He gave an example. A woman that wants to cook apple pie, wants to bake apple pie, will never go check out for the recipe on how to bake apple pie. It's until she decided that I want to bake apple pie. That's when she goes out to check the recipe. She starts researching on the recipe on how to bake apple pie. Let me link it because today we are talking about our 90 days challenge. Our main goal in our business is that anyone joining this business, your first 90 days, you should be able to connect 30 persons. How do you know those that truly mean that goal? How? Let me tell you, anybody can set a goal, but any goal you cannot sit down and create a roadmap from where you are that will lead you from where you are to that goal. I am sorry, that goal is only but a fantasy. It's not a goal. You don't mean it. You don't mean it. The reason why I'm talking this way is because I don't want some of you to sit down. Oh, that's our GA's goal. That's our team leader's goal. You must buy into it. You must come to accept it because it is what you've come to accept that you will truly achieve. If you don't have a good mental picture of what you have to achieve and a good mental picture of the roadmap to what you want to achieve that will lead you there, you are actually gambling with your life. You are gambling. And I can tell you categorically that most people are gambling with their economic life. They are gambling with their economic lives. It's not enough to set goals. So some smart persons will tell you, sir, I want to be worth $1 million, 10 million naira in the next 12 months. Oh yeah, no problem. Where the work is, or you sit down. How do you get from where you are right now to that place? Even if you don't have money, no problem. Where do you start from? Are you borrowing? Are you borrowing to start a business? Discipline yourself. That is where the hard work comes. Discipline yourself. And the truth is this, your bum will not agree you to do it. Try it. How many of us have seen it? It is very difficult to plan. Let me see with your hand. As in have a detailed plan on a project. Let me see with your hand if you have ever tried it before. Let me see with your hand. Very difficult. There is always be this nudge. Things will work out well now. Some people, once they set out the first plan, the first step, bam, they cannot follow it through to the second. Discipline yourself. That's why I always talk about having retreats. You can tell yourself, this weekend, I must break this thing. I must break it down. How do I reach out to at least 200 persons this month of August? How do I make sure 200 persons watches this video? Because if 200 persons can watch this recorded video, there is no way 10 persons can join the business. How can I reach out? What strategies do I need in order to explode my business? That is where the hard work comes. What I can do for you is to give you a template. The 90 days recruiting challenge is just the template. And I even went further to break it down for us. Let me even show us the banner for the 90 days recruiting challenge, because it's as if some of us is sounding like a jargon to us. It sounded like a jargon to us. I wish you people will get this. This is my life. This is my life. I'm telling you, this is my life. I wish people will get this. You know, those of you that have gone, you know, that have come too close to me, you've seen me live like this. You've seen me live this way for a long time. You know that this is my personal life. That's just people like Mr. Tobechukwu. I'm telling you. When I tell us the things that I achieve, sometimes I know when I look at the things that I achieve, I shed tears. And you know why I shed tears is because I just wish that people will just believe me for what I say. I wish people could just, you know, jump into this thing and know that it is what is working for me. One thing you should know about me as a person is this. Trust me when I say this. I don't teach what I'm not practicing. I try as much as possible to avoid it. If you see the kind of money I am making, some of you will not understand. You really need to understand why having a goal, not a goal that you wake up in the morning, the next day you forget. Not it. Everything on what I'm about to show you right now, I have it on my head. This 90 days recruiting challenge, look at it here. This is our template for success. The 90 days recruiting challenge. Recruiting 30 people within your first 90 days. We flagged up this project on June 8th. And I can tell you by December, this project will make a lot of people millionaires. And why some people will be counting peanuts? Why? Because they never believed in it. You will tell me, yes, sir, I believe in it. No. Proof of a man's desires is his pursuit. Don't tell me what you believe in. That's exactly what my mentor taught me. When I look at what you are pursuing, when I look at how detailed and how organized you are, I can tell categorically what you're pursuing. The 90 days recruiting challenge is the framework that will enable you to earn at least a minimum of ₦1 million in 6 months. You people don't know. If you see the way I'm saying this, I'm every day I keep praying, I keep doing my best. That's why I show up every day for us. Because it's also a goal for me. I know how many millionaires I told myself I'll be creating this year, 2021. It's a goal for me. And I know that in helping you to achieve that, there is a role I have to play. And there's a role you have to play. My role is to create the system. put the structure in place, inspire you. Your responsibility is to buy into this. If you can buy into this 90 days recruiting challenge, where you tell yourself, no matter what, come rain, come shine, I must make this happen for me. I must make this happen for me. Even if it requires I developing many skills. Developing skills, I'm going to develop those skills. Yes. Develop those skills and get in there in the field. We broke down the goal. Every month, 10 persons in a month. That's all you need. And how do you achieve this? I even brought it down again. What did I do? I didn't just sit down to say 90 days recruiting challenge. Let's go and get 30 people in 90 days. That is too cheap. That's too cheap. It's too cheap to just set goal. Let me tell you what a lot of people do. A lot of people take their goal setting just like New Year resolutions. And I decide this year 2021, I will never drink again. You will never drink again. No problem. I've also seen people that have also made such New Year resolutions. If you don't back it up with an action, and there is something anything girl said, listen, when you set a goal, you must be ready to take an action equal to the goal you've set. You don't want to drink, there is no problem. But you're still keeping friends of people that drink, and you go out to beer parlor where they are drinking. You will fold your hand and you're watching them drinking. Who are you? Jackson? You will drink again. You will surely, you don't want to be smoking Indian hemp again. Oh, now your brain don't come back. You don't want to be smoking Indian hemp. That's okay. But if you don't back it up with an action, you will go back again to smoke Indian hemp. You'll still have the contacts of people that smoke Indian hemp. You still have the clique of people that smoke Indian hemp. You are still going to the neighborhood of people that smoke Indian hemp. There is something else I think they said about attitude. Our environment is a merciless mirror of we as human beings. I was telling someone in my team, I said, if you have gossipers coming to you to gossip to you about your leaders, about the business, talking you down, it means you're a gossiper. Go check yourself very well. They saw you as a gossiper and they saw you as someone they can gossip to. That's why they came to you. And if you know you're not a gossiper, I'm telling you, is a very strong signal. There is something you are sending to them. You are sending them a signal, and you need to cancel it, and you need to make sure that that signal, you need to kill that such in a such channel. People can't come to me and gossip to me. It's not possible. No? I was talking to one of our partners here. I'm sorry, I don't call names. I will never call her. I will never call the person's name. I'm a mentor. That's my work as a mentor. And I do that here to many of us here. I didn't just do that to her today. I did that to a lot of people. Being your mentor doesn't give you the right to be the one to be coming to me and to be giving me problems and upon problems and upon problems. No, 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 no. My life is not a dumping ground. My work is to inspire you. If out of every 10 words you say, 7 is negativity, there is something wrong with your programming. Something wrong with your programming. We are not seeing possibilities. There's something wrong with your programming. I need to. If I keep such environment, let me tell you, I am not God. I will go down. Even as a leader, I have to protect my own mind. You know why I'm telling you this? Setting this 90 days recruiting challenge goal. Many of you are playing with it. This is your roadmap to any 1 million naira in 6 months. Many of you hear me say it over and over again in my business meetings, 8 p.m. I talk about it and I say, our goal is to help you to earn 1 million in 6 months. How do you think it's going to happen? Do you think I will just have to sleep and wake up some way and have it happen? That's not going to happen. That's madness or insanity for me to think that way. Yes. And the earlier we understand that, the better. This is our roadmap. So we didn't just say, okay, 30 people in 90 days. We broke it down and say 10 in 30 days. Then look at where the hard work comes. How do you get 10 people to say yes to the business? That's where you now get into the discipline, get into the art of building the business. That's where we created what we call the weekly task. These are the actions. The weekly task is the most important aspect of this 30 days recruiting challenge. Show me a man that keeps to this weekly task that does not achieve his monthly goal. Show me a man. No one. Prove me wrong. Do this weekly tax completely and not get 10%. I will give you my own personal sponsors. Try it and prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. That's what I want. Fulfill your weekly tax for 4 good weeks, 4 weeks in a row. Fulfill your weekly tax. What are the weekly tasks? I ensure 10 persons watch the business video. You send them the pre-messages, they request for the business video, you send it to them and they watch it. Get 10 persons to attend our live business meetings every week. Then share the business with one-on-one with 10 persons every week. And I taught us there are 2 ways you can share the business one-on-one. Either you are playing the recorded video with them one-on-one, or if you have been taught on how to explain the business, you go ahead and explain the business. Some of us who started well last 2 months. How many of us today, we are still in the act of playing the video with people? How many of us today, we are thinking about putting people together every weekend in our homes, in our apartments, in various places, and watching the video with them and getting them to pay and to get started? How many of us have put our heart to say, I'm going to do all that I can do? Someone said, all you can do is all you can do. He went further to say that all you can do is enough. The question is always has been, have we done all that we could do? If we can be sincere to ourselves, we haven't done all. There are still a lot of reservations. Why are you reserving? What is the benefit of setting goals and then not going after those goals to make it a reality? What is the benefit? You people need to have a taste of setting goals and exceeding the goals and making so much money. As a result, you need to taste it. Success is very sweet. There's a level of success you will taste. You will never want to go back. You will never want to set a goal and not achieving that goal. Look at me. I told us of anytime I set a financial, there's a short-term goal I set for myself from July to September. 10 million naira project is actually a real estate project. If you see the way I'm achieving this project, sometimes I just sit there and say, God, the people I'm leading, are they also achieving this? Are they also achieving this? Are they also achieving this? I said it earlier. There is a word my mentor dropped for me. That was about 2 years ago. He said, no, so anytime you set a goal with people and they don't achieve that goal and they go on living normal and you go on living normal, that is the day you've embraced failure. That's the day you've embraced failure, because success is about setting goals and achieving goals. These weekly tasks are the things you need to do in order to achieve this 90 days recruiting challenge. Don't let any stone unturned. Don't let any soul unreached. Don't let any contacts you have, Facebook or whatever, untapped within these 90 days. Put your integrity on the line. I always say it. The reason why many of you are not going to go far in the business is because it's one leg in, one leg out. You are going into the business with an attitude of, let's try and see. You can't try in business to see whether it will be successful. You will surely not be successful. I'm telling you now on time. If you are trying this business to see if it will be successful, you can never be successful in a business venture with a half-hearted attitude. It's not going to happen. Building a business is not playing games. I'm not here to play games. I know I'm dealing with people's lives. Some of you borrowed money to be here. I know I'm dealing with people's future. Anytime people give you their time, they are giving you a piece of their life. And I have to value it. So I won't come here and be playing games with you. If you are here in this business and you are saying, this is my friend, I beg. Let me see how my own gets first before I introduce him into the business. How will then the business grow? What do you mean? That's very selfish, and you will never grow. You will never grow. You have to be able to come to a point where you will tell someone, see, you know me. I can't be in this, and I say it's something that will hurt you, and I'm bringing it to you. You know me so well. I know you trust me. Make your payments today. You've watched the video. The business is nice. I'm in it. Make your payments now. Send me the payment details. You need such an attitude. Do you know, I'm in a committee in my church NGO back in the East, down there in the East, where, we have people that we know, people that want to, give loans and for businesses and some things, and then I'll be looking at some people that they want to give loans to. I will give for some people they want to give grants to. And then I will engage maybe in a casual conversation with some of them. It will just be done to you that they are not even convinced of their own business. You carry money and give such a person that is not even convinced, the person will lose the money. If you are not completely sold on this business project, you can't touch lives with it. The reason why I've created so many millionaires in this business is because I'm completely sold. I know so well that this is the system. This is it. Every day people are contacting me. There's one opportunity like that too. There is one thing like that too. There is one network marketing like that. I say I am not interested. I invest my money in real estate. I invest my money in stocks. Over time, I'm raising this team to a height where I'm going to be exposing us to certain level of trainings. And as a matter of fact, I promise, not now. I invest a lot in foreign stocks, and I have good. I have good. Quite a fat portfolio, good one in dollars, very sweet. I'm telling you. I'm in a place where people are coming with so many things to me. But when you are focused, you will never be distracted. How many of us here have come to accept the 90 days recruiting challenge as a must achieve? As a must achieve. You want to earn $1 million in 6 months. This is the gateway. How many of us here want to earn $1 million in 6 months? Let me see, wave your hand. Minimum $1 million in 6 months. Let me see, wave your hand. This is the gateway. Nothing more, nothing less. Engineer, also, what is the formula? This is the formula. The 90 days recruiting challenge is the formula. Can you give me directions? Whatever I'm doing for you is to get you to achieve this. There is a whole lot that happens when you do this. You don't understand. When you are able to achieve this, it means you have become someone that can recruit 30 persons in 90 days. Do you know what it means to duplicate that in a year? Now, do you know what it means for those 30 to duplicate over the time? My dear, your business will explode. Having minimum of 3 to 7 accounts, with this 90 days recruiting challenge, your business will explode in 1 year. Some of you think that earning millions is difficult in this business. It's not difficult in the business. Trust me, it's not. It's these foundations I'm giving you that when you can master it, 2 years, 3 years from now, you will not be sleeping. Today, I woke up in the morning, I saw 90-something thousand naira just over the night. Just over the night, 90-something thousand. Over the night. Come on. Come on. It's possible for you. And there are people earning such amount of money in my team now. So let's get back to the 3 things. There's something that Anything Gear taught us here. He called it the checklist. He called it the checklist. This checklist, if you can have them, if you can understand them, trust me, applying it in this our 90 days recruiting challenge, trust me, you will explode. What's the first item in your checklist? The formula for getting rich. Your reward in life will always be in direct proportion to your contribution or your service. I will break it down. As in the first time I heard this, I said, man, I was feeling proud. I was like, I know the secrets now of getting rich. And a lot of people don't know it. The amount of money you will earn is in direct proportion to what? To your contribution or your service. Now, if you can remember the basics of prospecting in our business, what is it that I taught us? I told us, when you go out to do the business, you must see yourself as one that is to provide solution to people's problems. Do you know why I earn so much money? When I'm looking at you, I'm seeing you as someone I'm to help to earn. I'm seeing you as someone I'm to help to become a millionaire. That's how I see you. And that's how money comes. In anything you are doing, the amount of money you earn is in direct proportion to your contribution or your service. The more you do, it's a number game. The more you render the service, the more money you make. It happens also in business. What's the second? Because we need to close. What's the second item in your checklist? The gold mine. What is your gold mine? Your mind. If you have not gotten that training, how to be creative, I've given a training on how to engage our mind and how to be creative, how to be super creative. How many of you know that the greatest resource you have, the difference between you and a goat, the difference between us and animals in the bush is the mind? We can alter our lives by altering the attitude of our mind. Are you aware of that? How many times in a day do you sit down to think creatively on how to do your business better? I've given us the secret of my words. If let me ask you, let me even know whether we still remember. How many of us will remember? There is one thing like that. I tell people, if you ever get close to me, you will see it. If you ever get close to me, you will see it. As in, I don't need to say it, you will just see it. It's something you will notice. And that is my secret. That is whatever I do, that thing and what I do in it is my main secret to success. Can someone tell me? Let me see, wave your hand. Let me see, wave your hand. Let me know whether Mama Agnes, let me know whether you will remember. What is it?
We must be consistent.
Consistent? Consistent is just a word to explain that thing. That's not it. I use one word. I use one word. Mr. Toby, I know you will get it correctly now. You stayed with me now. You know I'm a crazy human being. I know. Let me, Mama Keyinde, let me know whether you will get it. There is something I said.
You discipline yourself every day.
Discipline myself. Discipline myself is just one of the words you use in describing that thing. Okay, Mr. Toby, I know you will get it correctly. Mr. Toby, go ahead and unmute yourself and let them know. Let everybody know. What is it, Mr. Toby?
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, it's routine.
My routine. Simple. I remember the first time Mr. Toby stayed with me. Toby, I think you should be in Jos that you were able to stay with me.
Yeah, in Jos, yeah. Yeah, for three days.
3 days. When did you sleep? And when did I sleep? And when did I wake up?
Me, I slept around 12. You slept around 2:30.
When do I wake
up? You woke up around, I think, 4:35. I woke up around 6.
Do I do it every day?
Every day. Every day.
See, let me tell you, the secret to my success is my routine. I have a routine. I don't joke with it. It's a programming. And I have things I do in that routine. One of the things I do in my early morning routine is I have my prayer. Another thing again I do in my routine is I meditate a lot. Many of you don't know what is meditation. Please, it's not the whatever you want, okay? You know, the metaphysical. Even there are certain things I do that, you know, if you don't know me very well, you will think I'm metaphysical. For example, I won't like to rust. For example, I know how to be quiet. It's part of my meditation time. I know how to be quiet and disconnect myself from the entire world. There are things you can do to do that. I disconnect myself entirely from the entire world and I focus on my heartbeats. I center myself and I feel completely weightless, okay? And I become grateful. I think only about gratitude, you know, in such times. I appreciate life at such times. As when I mean, I don't think about things like cars. I think about the most basic and fundamentals of life, like air, being able to breathe, being able to even have clothes on my body, being able to have children, being able to have a wife, being able to just be alive. I just be grateful that I'm alive. I'm telling you, gratitude is one of the best things that can happen. The feeling is powerful. You know, many times in the pursuit of many things, we forget to be grateful. So I meditate a lot. I'm telling you. And then part of my meditation also is about also meditating on the scriptures, on the Bible. Okay? Because I always tell people, hey, your source is very important. The source is always very important. I know that I didn't just appear. I don't believe in evolution. So I believe there is a God that created me. I believe I'm sourced from God. So I tap in from there. When I read the Bible, I meditate. I don't just read for reading. I meditate a lot. When I meditate, I apply it to myself. Part of my meditation also is about proclamation. I speak. So if you stay around me, I talk a lot. I'm telling you. Sometimes I'll just be like, you just see me do something like, yeah, man, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I don't have the spirit of fear. I have the spirit of power, of love, and of a sound mind. I'm getting it. I will keep saying it until the thing enters into my spirit that every fear in me will disappear. I meditate a lot. Then thirdly, let me tell you, I think a lot. When I mean thinking, I don't mean worrying. I think creatively. How do I do this better? How do I get my teams on track? How do I get my leaders to function properly? How do I develop my leaders? Looking at my business, in the next 7 to 10 years, can my team keep growing the way it is growing? Or if I should stop building what I'm building now, will it go down? I ask myself those questions. And I ask myself, okay, what do I truly want? I write down what I truly want. Okay, how do I get there? What steps do I need to take today that will put me on the right track towards getting there? You must have a routine where you think. Think about your business. Pray about your business. Every day. It's not, see, there's nothing like I'm too busy. You can start with 10 minutes. You can start with 30 minutes. There's nothing like I'm too busy. Yes, nothing like I'm too busy. You must learn to meditate. You must learn to think. The gold mind that God has given you is in between your ears. That's your mind. Engage it. Engage it. How do I reach out to 10 persons today to watch the video? Write them down. The names of the people you are reaching to. 20, sorry. Write it down. Don't assume that you will do the right thing. Don't assume. A lot of us were living our lives on assumptions. Let me tell you what's the one that cracked me. I learned this lesson the hard way when I started investing in stocks. I will read and I will tell myself, okay, I know the parameters I will use in buying the right stock. And when the time comes, by the time I'm done purchasing stocks at the end of the month, I check, I will notice that 90% of all the stocks I bought are nonsense. Nonsense stocks until I wrote down my checklist. I call it my checklist for buying stocks. Checklist. Number 1, I'll just give you the first 2 or 3. Due diligence. Have you done due diligence? Do you know the company's financials? Do you know the products? How do they make profits? Are they into debts? What is price to book ratio? What is their PE ratio? What is it? I will do due diligence. Look at the all-time highs and the all-time lows. Are you buying at a discount? Due diligence. Before I put my money to buy a stock now, I will do the due diligence. It's until I wrote it down that I started investing properly. It also happened to me in real estate. Once they tell me, one land like that is there, land. What I thought that land is land, the property is property. Now, so I carry my money, scatter. 5 years after, you check the net worth of the land, everything in the land, you know, reach 15 million naira. Now, somebody will just buy. You invested 10 million. Your own after 5 years, not even up to 15 million. Somebody invested just 4 million naira or 5 million naira, less than half of what you invested. In 5 years' time, the person will be telling his own property will be worth 35 million, 40 million. There is something they know you don't know. So I sat down and I had to teach myself. I have to study research, go for trainings, register, go for conferences. And I now have what I call my my checklist. When I want to buy a property, I have checklist on the property. So many properties I bought, they are having issues with it. This one, a young man like me, many of those village people, they used to chew juju and kidnapping to go come and be threatening me. As I did like this, I don't get that. Collect. Now I lost my money. As young as I did, make I begin to struggle 5 million naira or 10 million naira, go use and lose my head. My dear, some of you will say, okay, you're not tough. Thank you very much. Where I'm going to, I don't have enough time for such. Since I know that I have due diligence, where is the paper? Go and do the tracking. What is the location? You cannot live your life. You cannot build a business by chance on assumptions. What are the checklists? What is it you are to do today that will make the difference in your business? What is it you are to do today? Wake up every morning having something unique in mind to do. Wake up having something definite in mind to do. What is the third item on the checklist? Attitude. The word attitude. You must live your life with an attitude of someone that already have your goals. Your 90 days challenge. How good would your life be by the time you achieve this? How would you feel? Live through life, live through that day with such what? An attitude. Don't forget, the word is a reflection of your attitude. I have it imprinted on my door. Anybody that comes into my door, they know. You don't come into my office moody. Even if you are angry, you must be smiling while laying a complaint to me. You don't try it. If you come into my office moody, you are talking, my face is down. When you finish talking, I will just tell you, can you read what is on my door? It's there on my door. It's there on my door. Tomorrow I'll snap it and show us. It's there on my door. Yes. You don't come into my office moody because I intentionally created an environment of positivism and enthusiasm. I don't want anything. I know the vision I'm carrying. One day of weighing down can cost many lives. I know that. I can't afford to come to millionaire school and I'm moody. I can't. That's why even when I'm feeling sick, I'll be forcing myself. That's why I nearly fainted one of the days, last 2 weeks. Where I was forcing to shout. And you did not know that this man was fainting, though. God punish devil. Health is wonderful. I'm telling you. When you hear health is wealth, health is truly wealth. So take note of those checklists. The formula for getting rich. The gold mind, your mind. Think creatively every day. Then your attitude. Create an environment of positivism and enthusiasm. My brothers and my sisters, the 90 days recruiting challenge is a must for us to achieve. And how do you achieve that? Focus on your weekly task. Focus on your weekly task. Ensure that 10 persons watch the recorded video outside your locality. Ensure that you will share the business one-on-one. Book appointments with people. Stop assuming. You have weekends for those of you that work. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Schedule different times people come to see you or where you go to see people and you discuss the business with them. How do you discuss the business? Don't talk anything. Play the video with them. Don't forget. Play the video. Before you play the video, edify me. The person in this video is our national director. He has created so many millionaires. He's the one that will be mentoring you. He's the one mentoring me, and he's the one that will also be mentoring you. Just watch this recorded video. Play the recorded video for them. When they are done, tell them, contact the number now. Send the message to the number now. That's how to do it. Get them to make instant commitments. Focus on the weekly task and you will see your goals smashed. Now, I told those of us that attended yesterday, that were inducted yesterday, I'm going to be sharing with you the materials for sharing. Okay? Now, listen carefully here. I told us yesterday, you are not to talk to anyone at all. And I still stick to it. You don't at this point. So what do? Remember, your first, for those of you that your sponsors have taught, I told them to teach you. Your first page of your Millionaire School Notes is where you write your contacts. You write it, my contacts. Okay? And then down my contacts, you have to rule it this way. You rule it, all right? You write the name, the phone number, the location, and the response. You are to contact minimum of 20 every day. How do you contact them? We have a script you are to use in sending them a text message or a WhatsApp message. When you send them that message, it will give them an invitation to either watch our recorded video or to attend our live Zoom meeting. Some of them will tell you recorded video. Some of them will tell you live Zoom meeting. Give them whatever they request for. If they requested for live Zoom meeting, give them the live Zoom meeting link. Our meetings at 8 p.m. every day, Monday to Saturday. If they requested for the recorded video, I'm going to be giving you the recorded video. Show it, send it to them, let them watch it, and tell them to get back to me immediately. I'll be sending those messages to our various WhatsApp groups this morning. I want you to focus on the weekly task. Focus on the weekly task. You can never outgrow the foundations. Focus on the weekly task. Focus on it. Share those information and see what will start happening in your business starting from today. By tomorrow, we are going to be inducting new persons and we are going to be teaching more on prospecting and inviting. But on Friday, don't forget, on Friday is a unique day. Friday is the day. In fact, what I'm teaching on Friday, the last time I taught it was 3 months ago. Friday is a day as in you must be mentally, spiritually, physically alert. I will teach you, give you in-depth of all our products, and I will teach you on the 3 extra ways to earn money in the business: the uni-level income, the stair-step income, and the UPP income. Yes, I will give it to us. I will break it down for us, and so that we can start tapping into all these privileges to grow and enjoy more of our business. God bless you real good. I really, really want to say a very big thank you to each and every one of you that have been well focused on building your business and ensuring that your success clients are learning here. Okay, my Rising Star mentors, Mr. Churchill, thank you so much. I can see your good work. Okay, I have someone here. I can see people that have graduated from your foundation classes. Mama Agnes, I can see people graduating from your foundation classes. Mr. Tobechukwu, you're also doing a good job. My leaders here, please, I want us to really ensure that our success lines get to understand the business very well. Please, anything you don't understand, feel free to chat me up. Feel free. I am here. And I'm going to say this again and again and for the last time. No matter the problem and the challenges you are facing, focus on the goal. When you focus on the goal, every other thing is a distraction to the goal. When you focus on the goal, your life will always move in the direction of your predominant thoughts and focus. And energy grows in the direction of focus. When your focus is on goals, your energy will keep growing. When your focus is on your worries, your energy will be drained. Focus on the goal. No matter what's happening around you, the challenges you're having, some of you that borrowed money, come on, trust me on this. I borrow money too. Forget about you borrow the money, borrow the money. The only way out to pay off the money is to focus on the goal and not on the money you borrow. Crying for, oh, I need to pay back in 2 months' time. What? The energy you will use in working, you are using it to be doing. If you finish doing this thing up and down, lie on the bed, you wake up, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. I want you to discipline your disappointment. Discipline yourself. Every distraction around you, put it off. Clear your decks of all distraction. Focus on this thing. How many of us here are going to focus on this thing? To recruit 10 persons for the next 30 days. 10 for the next 30 days. If it takes Madam Christiano Okoye, you are not seeing your hand though. How many of us? Madam Ngozi Benita, I'm seeing you. Yes. Mr. Yohe, I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you. Madam Robitan, Mrs. Robitan, I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you. Yeah. Mr. Yeni Oledeji, I'm seeing you over there. I'm seeing you. Thank you so much. Mama Keyinde, I'm seeing you. I want us to get back on track. I want us to unmute ourselves and say, I'm getting back on track. Let's unmute ourselves and say that. I'm getting back on track. Say to yourself, I'm getting back on track.
I'm getting back on track.
Back on track.
Say to yourself, I'm getting back on track.
I'm getting back on track.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless you. Just a point to note, I'm happy that many of us now we are catching up with the suggestions I gave to us about having multiple accounts. I'm really happy that majority of us here now are now upgrading our accounts from 1 to 3, then from 3 to 7 accounts. I'm really, really very happy. Very happy. Trust me, I discussed with Eminent Augusta. I was like, hey, I want people to get this thing. I don't want people to be losing money. I don't want people to feel like, oh, I've not even started earning. Engineer also is even telling me now to go and add more accounts. You know, I had to shut down my mind on all those negative feelings and then just do the right thing. And I'm really happy that we are really embracing it. There's nothing as good, you know, to a leader, than having people that listen, that follow you, because you know that when they follow you, they will get the right result. So I'm really, really, really happy for all of you adding accounts. If you have not started adding your account, start adding. You are not doing it for me. You are doing it for yourself. Add that. Make your account minimum of 3 if you have one. From 3, make it 7. From 7, make it maximum 15. And then you can settle there. All right. God bless you. Don't forget to invite people today for our 8 p.m. meeting. And all of you here, you've not received your reservation code and your username and passwords. Of course, you knew I had a very rough week last week. I've started activating accounts. I activated about 8 plus 12. I activated 20 yesterday. I'm activating additional 25 today. So virtually, I think everybody should be able to have their username and passwords at night, or at most tomorrow morning. But if you are sending those messages, inviting people, you can use your phone number as a reservation code, because there's a place for reservation code. You can just use your phone number there as the reservation code. All right. Okay. So that is just it. Now, many of you here have gotten your username and password, but good number of you here, okay, I haven't gotten yours. All right. But I'm activating it. I'm activating all. All right. So today, many of you will get yours. Maybe by tomorrow morning, maybe remaining just about either 3 or 4. Based on the number of restrictions I can carry out for the day. God bless you. Expect the video on our WhatsApp groups. Expect it on our WhatsApp groups, okay? I'm sending it right away. And then also the materials, the messages to send out to people, and then the meeting links at 8 p.m. All right? Expect it on our WhatsApp groups. God bless you. You have a lovely day. Bye.